The second U of data storytelling is understanding the business question. Let's go back to our own lives and think. How often have we been given an analysis where the person totally missed the mark with what we wanted? Or have you ever been the person to turn over an analysis only to have the individual say, "This isn't what I wanted"? These two roadblocks and hindrances can be overcome when people truly understand the business question they want to answer. In the world of data and analytics, we see a very large skills gap within data literacy, with low percentages feeling comfortable about their data literacy skills. So when we try to answer the business questions with data, sometimes the individuals who are asking the questions do not fully understand what they would like to see or are poor at explaining it. In this U of data storytelling, we need everyone to truly get to the bottom of the business question they are trying to resolve. When the individual trying to present the story truly understands what is desired from the audience, then we get the ability to tell good stories. We will explore tips and tricks to uncover the true business question needing answers. But one key element to walk away with from this U of data storytelling is, we need to dig deep and go beyond the simple request. Ask questions to truly ensure the individual requesting the analysis and insights, helping to understand what they are looking for. Doing this will avoid the headache of telling a great, compelling story and having the individual turn and say, "This is not what I was looking for." Understand the business question to the point that you can repeat it back word for word so the group has no doubt the story will tell the correct information. This second U of data storytelling allows us to travel to the third U of data storytelling. Understand the audience. Understanding the audience allows us to approach data storytelling from two strong and powerful positions. One, we will more effectively understand exactly what is being asked. And two, we will understand how we should position the stories we want to share. Understanding if you are talking to a group of analysts or speaking to the executive suite will determine a lot about your story. When we understand what is going on with our audience and who is asking for what, plus understand who the intended story and audience are, it can help to sculpt and shape our overall understanding of how to best present the information and ensure the audience is properly prepared. Imagine if you go to a concert hoping to hear your favorite classic rock band's hits, but they end up playing classical music. How happy are you going to be? Ensure you understand your audience and manage their expectations. The other aspect of understanding your audience is determining who exactly is the intended audience. If you are speaking to your executive suite, do you think they want or have the time for you to wax eloquently and in-depth to a complex statistical analysis? Or if you are speaking to beginners in the world of data and analytics, do you think they want to hear about the complexities of the latest Markov chain analysis you ran? Ensuring you understand the intended audience ensures you will put a strong story in front of them, enabling them to understand what has happened and why you put the story together the way you did. To help us understand how the three U's work together, let's put together a metaphor. Imagine you decide to host a dinner party and you want to cook an amazing meal for your party guests. You forego with asking the guests what their preferences are, if they have allergies, if they like wine with the dinner, etc. You just decide to wing it and go for it. In the process, you felt you would be okay. After all, you are creating this wonderful meal for them. The day of the party, you go to the market to pick up the necessary ingredients for your feast. In the process, you forgot the recipe, didn't even take it with you, but thought, "You know what, I can figure this out, how hard can it be?" So you grabbed a lot of ingredients and headed home. After arriving, you then decide you would cook right when the guests arrive, no need to prep beforehand. The guests start to arrive, you send them into the formal dining room and have them sit down for the feast. You quickly grab a pot, put in some water, turn on the heat, and throw in the ingredients you bought. You turn the heat on high because, well, that should help, right? After 15 minutes or so, you feel it should be done and take it into the dining room, scooping it onto your guests' plates. After you put the food down, you sit and say bon appetit. After one or two bites, you can see the guests have not warmed up to their food. In fact, no one is eating it. The party did not turn out the way you thought it would, with the meal ending in disaster. Such a fun, dramatic example, but hopefully it illustrates the power of the three U's of data storytelling. Understanding your data, understanding the business question, and understanding the audience. If you had understood your data, and in our story, the ingredients, you would have understood how the ingredients go together and work to make your meal. If you had understood the business questions, the intent of the feast and party itself, then you would have done better to prepare and put things in order. Finally, if you had understood your audience, in other words, your guests, you would have known individuals' preferences, allergies, etc. Overall, your feast and party would have been much better had you put in place proper planning and understanding. The same will be said about data storytelling. We don't want to create jumbled messes with our data storytelling. Now that we have discussed the three U's of data storytelling, let's discuss some tips and tricks to telling compelling stories with data, which will help your audience connect better with your stories. The first tip of storytelling that we will mention in this module is simplicity. The world of data, statistics, and analytics can be very complicated and complex. When individuals start to discuss these data-driven initiatives, analyses, etc., it can become very hard to stay focused, understand, and stay engaged. Within the world of data and analytics, simplicity can ensure individuals do not get caught up in that complexity, losing sight of the meaning and intent of the story. To keep things simple, avoid using jargon and lingo that others outside your group may not understand. The moment those types of words are used, you can lose the audience. Also, to ensure simplicity, keep the message and story brief, especially when dealing with the executive suite. People's time is valuable, so don't waste it trying to wax eloquently or prolong the issue. If you can, get to the point quickly and intelligently. The second tip we want to convey is to create a connection between the audience and the data through the story. This connection can be created in many ways, but let's focus on the connection first. A connection to the data through a story allows each individual and the whole audience to feel the data is personal and their own. Work hard to create this connection. But you may be asking, how could we create this connection? There are, of course, certain things you can inject into the data story, starting first with humor. This may seem odd within a business environment, but overall, humor can help individuals to absorb and remember the information. The second way to create that connection is to make it personal to the business. Find ways to tie it into the business and how it is associated to the goals, visions, or ideas of those who are in the audience. Finally, show how it will benefit and make an impact in each individual's decision-making and insight-driving power. A third tip or trick for data storytelling is utilize data visualizations and dashboards. When we are utilizing stories to talk about data and help others gain insight, using data dashboards and visualizations can assist the audience to understand the context of the story. Images are easier to understand than the list of facts and figures. The other great thing a data visualization will do for the audience is it prevents the audience from staring at numbers or large data sets to see what you are sharing as the data storyteller. Instead, the audience sees the visualization as you share the story. This also ties directly back into the first tip. It allows you to simplify the data to the audience. The fourth tip is to ensure you provide context to the data. Remember the 3 U's of data storytelling? Make sure you paint a strong picture of why you are telling the data story you are. Ensure the audience understands the business question you are actually answering with the story. Keep in mind, the audience may make assumptions on what the data will show, but instead, you paint the picture by providing context. Discuss within the story the data you used and why you chose the data sets you did. Finally, understanding the audience, you can determine the best way to put it into context. Before you go to the meeting and as you prepare your story, think of your audience and how they will receive the message, helping to put the context out front. In this module, we have spoken about the key elements within data storytelling, and we want to end on one of the most important points to data storytelling: make the data human. When we think of data, statistics, and analytics, an overall feeling of some is that it is intimidating and hard. Data storytelling can allow individuals to connect to data in ways that they never knew were possible. They can find insight to make decisions, which is the overall goal of data within organizations. Making data human helps the connection between the data and the audience possible. We want to eliminate confusion that can happen with data. Overall, we have explored a few key areas within the world of data storytelling. Let's take a chance to review these key areas. First, we went into the 3 U's of data storytelling: understand your data, understand your business question, and understand your audience. By doing these 3 things, you set yourself up to succeed with the data you are putting into a story. The next thing we looked at was some tips and tricks. Keep it simple, create the connection, use data visualizations, and build context. By following the 3 U's and by utilizing the tips and tricks, you can, as a data storyteller, hit home on the most important part: make the data human. We hope you have enjoyed this data literacy module. We also hope you will explore the other modules within the Click Continuous Classroom. We look forward to sharing more with you in the world of data literacy.
This represents